Good morning. How is everyone today? Big Rich with you one more time. And today I'm going to talk about my employer. I'm going to talk about Amazon and, I'm going to make this a 3 or 4 part series. And today I just want to talk about the hiring process. But before we go any further, I would like to ask everyone to please like, share, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and help me grow my channel. I have a goal of doubling my subscribers and my viewership by the end of this year. I don't think that is an impossible goal considering my channel is still very new and very small, but hopefully this video will help me do that. So again, thank you, and here we go. Now, I don't think there's anyone in the world who doesn't know what Amazon is by now. It's a multinational company that ships goods all over the world. They're basically a giant drop shipper if you really want to get right down to it. People sell pretty much anything and everything through this company. And in the 3 years, 2.5 years I've worked there, I have seen things that I would have probably never seen if I hadn't worked there. But, hey, that's another story. On to the hiring process, which is what I want to cover today. Amazon's hiring process was very unique for me. So I just want to start at the beginning. The first thing I did was I filled out an online application. The application consisted of a handful of questions and then a little test about where you would store things based upon their size, their shape, and so on. It was completely asinine, and you basically, that little octagon thing you get as a baby that has like the star and the square and the circle that you put in the appropriate space. Basically, that is the test that they give you to weed out people that they don't want working for them. If a 3-year-old and a 2-year-old can do that, they could work at Amazon technically. And at the end of the test, it gives you a little time to set up your interview time and place. So I did that. The next week I went thinking, okay, I've got an interview. No, there's no interview whatsoever. Basically, the minute you pass that stupid little test I just told you about, that a child could pass, you turn around and you're hired pretty much at that moment. All you got to do is show up, watch a couple videos on what you will be doing at Amazon, and take your drug test and take a photo for your ID, and that's it. That's the Amazon hiring process. Now, that is nothing like I expected it to be. I expected to walk in, sit down, have a face-to-face interview with someone, as well as do some of these other things. Get my photo ID tag, do all that stuff. But, I expect to actually sit down, have an interview that would, see if I was actually a good candidate for Amazon or not. Them fill me out, me fill them out. But that's not the case. Literally, you pass your drug test, you get an email saying this is your start date. And since they're no longer testing for weed, more and more people are passing their drug test that would not have just months ago. Now, I don't want to get into the whole issue of if weed is good or bad. I really don't care. If you use it, you use it. If you don't, you don't. It's like alcohol. It's like cigarettes. I don't bash anybody for smoking. I don't bash anyone who drinks. I drink. I don't drink to excess. I definitely don't drink at work. I don't want anything that would impair me at work. I'm not taking that chance because if I did get hurt, I would be liable, not the company. But with that being said, I do see a ton of people smoking weed every day at Amazon. I mean, on the premises, in the bathrooms, in the elevator. It's, you know, break, you walk out, and the whole parking lot is just a the stench of weed. It covers it all. So, that's that, but, hey, whatever. Then let's go on to training a little bit, since the interview process is completely asinine and basically non-existent. Let's talk about the training. Now, when I first got there, and this has been, 2.5, 3 years ago, we would go in at 6 o'clock, meet our trainer, get our ID, all that stuff. All's good. All's good with that. And then we would sit in a room and watch the dullest videos I've ever seen. Watch, safety videos, blah, 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 blah. All, just dozens of videos about safety, what our job is, what we can do, what we can't do. Take a tour of the facility, see where the bathrooms are at, see where the, stations are at, see just all the, just a general tour. And then we would probably work for maybe an hour or two that day, actually doing whatever job we were going to be assigned. And the next day we'd get in, kind of the same thing, a few hours of class work, and then we would go and we would train some more doing our particular job. Then the third day, we'd meet in the training room, and then we would do our job again that third day. And you would think, they would have one-on-one training, or they would set you with a person who was skilled and had been working there a long time to help you out in your training. It's basically one or two trainers with those same, 30, 40 people that were in the class. Checking on you as often as they could. So the training is kind of minimal. I mean, I'm not saying that it was bad training, because I actually had a very good trainer, but it was very minimal training. And when they expect so much in the facility with so little time spent training people, so little time with explanation. And everyone has heard the fact they treat people like robots. There's been human rights lawsuits filed against them. There's been lawsuits against the quotas. People walk out constantly. The turnover rate is actually greater than the hiring rate, which should tell you something about how Amazon actually treats its employees, which I will get into in my next video. But yeah, it's a strange hiring process and training process. It really does not get you ready for anything you're actually going to be doing. And that's all I really had to say today. I mean, I don't want to get too much into this, because I could go on for hours. That's why I'm going to make like a three or four part video. But yeah, it just is a little bit odd the way they do their hiring. And I just don't get it. You know, if they actually did interviews and actually did things like other companies do, maybe the turnover would not be over 100%, and things would be done in a better fashion. I mean, I've got supervisors that are 20 years old that have no work experience whatsoever, but they have that piece of paper saying, hey, I've got a degree, but they have no practical experience and have no idea how to run a company, let alone run a shift. But that's another story for another time. Anyway, I hope everyone enjoyed this video. You know, I'm not bashing on Amazon. I'm just telling like it is, if they like it or not. But yeah, that was the hiring process. But if you need a job, I mean, hey, it's an easy one to get as long as you can pass a drug test and deal with the insanity of the place. Anyway, take care, peace, love. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.